Let's get this straightened out. Will that work? Yeah, it should work. Okay, hey, I just did a few, I don't usually video going uphill because, I end up breathing a bit harder and I wouldn't want anyone to get the wrong idea, right? So, but today I did. Anyway, I'll talk about it in a sec. Whoosh. Okay, got the kilt out. It's nice and cool. Oh. Nanaw maleo, nanaw maleo. All good. Yeah, the cold season has come, and I love it. I love it. Today, there's not a cloud in the sky. And that's something, after a goodly number of months of rainy season. Although this rainy season, it's always pretty intense up here, but it seemed less rainy than other years. So you should be thankful for small things, Anyway, so right now, the temperature at my place is, this morning at like 8 o'clock, it was 13 degrees, so it's probably a bit cooler at dawn. And it's definitely a cool season here. And that's up in the mountains, down in the city, it's not so cool. So far, the coldest temperature I've had at my place, probably in January, a few years ago, was 5 degrees. That's chilly. And there's no such thing as heat here, right? So, not that you really need heat when it's 5 degrees, but except in some modern places where if it hits 20, people turn the heat on. Whatever. Oh, we had some promising, I don't want to say news, exactly. Promisings. Thailand Kendo Club, which is kind of like the national organization, I'd say. Like they do all the kendo type organizing, and it usually all happens in Bangkok. Hang on a sec, it's too noisy. Yeah, they sent out a survey asking who'd be interested in a grading sometime between January and December and March. That's great news. I can give Yondan a shot again, second time. Yondan is 4th Dan in Kendo. There's a total of 8 Dan and 10 Kyu, which are like in other martial arts are like colored belts. And the Dan levels are what would be black belts, but it doesn't apply to Kendo really. And they asked what country. It's open to anyone, these gradings here, of course. But of course, it's not that easy to get around these days. And getting to Thailand takes some. Like most people wouldn't be coming to Thailand to grade unless they had a lot of money, because there's quarantines you have to pay for, and and other stuff. So it might just be Thai centered, which would be great for me, because anyway, the last one had 300 to 400 people, which is like just blows my mind, right? And that's a bit overwhelming for me, as you might imagine. I was like, anyway, so smaller bunch, that would be nice. I would like that, but maybe if it's too small, they might not do it, or they might not grade really high levels or relatively high levels. 4th Dan isn't really high, but it's decent, you know. Every now and then I sit down, now let's see, if I pass the next one and the next one and the next one, how high can I get before I die? Right? Forget 8th Dan. I just forget 8th Dan anyway, right? For me. In 7th Dan? Well, whatever. For sure, if I hadn't been roaming around the wilderness all these years, I'd be closer to there right now, for sure. But for sure, I could get, what is it? If I pass 4th Dan, then you have to wait 4 years to 5th Dan, so then I'll be, oh Jesus. I'll be 67 for 5th Dan. Then you have to wait maybe 5 years, so then I'll be 72 for 6. And then, oh, like almost 80 for 7th Dan. But you know, I can totally imagine that. Oh, let's just give her 7th Dan. She'll be dead in a couple of years anyway. Actually, they wouldn't do. That's just a joke, eh? That's not how it works. That's not how it works at all. You gotta have your ducks in order to pass. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you are crippled or injured or whatever. Doesn't matter. Gotta have all the things. Or old. Anyway, not that I'm that old, but I managed to keep myself in pretty limber condition in general. Surely that's all one can ask. But maybe if I had have not lived this, maybe I'd be 6 Dan by now. Or 7 even. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. But my main point is, yeah, but if I did that, I wouldn't be living here, and I wouldn't have met the forest spirits. Maybe. Or maybe I would have, I don't know. No, not really. It's difficult when you're not in an urban center to connect that way. Not in an urban center and not with a lot of money and all that. It's difficult. But who cares? Difficulty does not matter. Life is difficult. Life is difficult. I had a point. What? Sometimes I sit closer, discuss the comings and goings of the world. I don't know. I don't know. But what else can you talk about but the election, right? Okay, I could say this. I'm kind of like taking the piss, but I also mean it, right? Like I'm not faking, but it's like whatever, right? American politics. But part of me is like, oh yeah, at some point, a lot of people are going to go, geez, we really should have voted for Trump. Which is like maybe a bizarre thought for most people. But I had that thought way sooner than I expected, right? I mean, I always thought that would happen, but in a more solid sense, I'm like, oh, because I was reading something about them changing constitutions and enacting hate speech laws, whatever that is. As Jordan Peterson says, look, who defines what hate is? This is your problem, right? Is it you? Is it them? It's totally arbitrary. Anyway, I actually had this discussion with my mom a few weeks ago. I guess it had to do with those Islamic murders in France. I said, look, you can't enact laws for hate. It's too... whatever, you know, what can you say, right? I think really it just has to be worked through societies and stuff, you know. Like just a natural evolution, and some societies are more egalitarian than others, and I like to live in a place that's more, has more freedom and more equality of opportunity. How's that? Yeah, but now you're seeing like Harris was blabbing about equity, which generally is thought of as equality of outcome. And then, you know, I also read something about changing the Constitution to connect it with this hate thing, and then I thought, oh, that was James Lindsay, who's like a left guy, right? He actually voted for Trump. He just didn't say, screw it, I'm not taking part in this foolish thing. He actually voted for Trump because he'd seen too many things thrown around on the other side about changing the Constitution of the U.S., which I'm not an expert at all. In fact, I really know little about it. But so when I read that thing, I thought, oh, now I see what James Lindsay was on about. Anyway, whatever. That's enough of that stuff. We'll see where it goes and all that. But I think probably, guys, you should have voted for Trump after all. Already, I think that, but whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna do some walking because I'm just doing my usual blabbing bullshit. Okay, but I'm liking my hair today. What do you think, eh? Got a bit of gray here, a bit of dark. That's the most important thing, eh? And I got the fashionable tartan pattern kilt. Shoot, Rourke. Oh, I forget the name of this pattern. Do you know? I don't know if you know this, but like a lot of people with Scottish heritage get up your ass if you start wearing the wrong tartan, right? But it's a really interesting story about the tartans. It's kind of all bull, right? Like all the thing with family tartans. It's not a real thing. It's kind of a created thing. And the story that I know is that, you know, during the Victoria's time, she made tartans really popular. Like she was really into her Scottish heritage, and I think they had tartan like coverings for their couches and stuff down in Buckingham Palace and all that. And then there's that great story. Is it called Mrs. Brown? The great movie. Anyway, but anyway, apparently, and I forget the date now. I think it was Victorian times, but I could be off with this. But there are a couple of Polish brothers that claimed ancestry to Bonnie Prince Charlie, right? So Charlie was mid 1700s. It could be late 1700s, early 1800s, I guess. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, the point is, they claimed ancestry to the Bonnie Prince Charlie, right? Which, if you don't know, that was the last of the battles. The Battle of Culloden was the last of the big battles with between Scotland and England, really. And a lot of Highlanders were connected with that, and Highlanders wear tartan cloth. And anyway, they claimed to have this book with tartans connected to family names, right? But no one ever saw the book. They just said they had it, and they made this thing. I think they made a fortune from selling the tartans, according to Family News. See, this is why I think it was early 1800s, because by then, because right after Culloden, all that stuff was banned. Like any sort of Highland, Scottish, bagpipes, tartans, anything that symbolized Scottish nationalism was really put down hard, like seriously hard, right? Like hanging type hard. Stuff like that went on in Ireland too, at some point. Like it was banned to play the pipes and stuff like that. Anyway, but so it makes sense that it would be 1800s when people were like, that was like, half a century away. People starting to get romantic about their Highland heritage, right? So because it was enough years past the insurrections that you could then be proud of it, I guess. That's how that works, eh? Anyway, so yeah, so then everyone started getting uptight about their names and their tartans, but it's really all bullshit. I think my understanding is the first official tartan was the Black Watch, right? Which comes out of the Campbell, what is called the Campbell pattern. And the Black Watch is like dark blue, dark green, sometimes with some yellow in it, I think. But it's definitely a certain pattern, or set, as they call it. And a lot of people believe that was the actual first official tartan. Like you wore that and you were part of the Black Watch, right? And the Black Watch, anyway, look it up on Google or whatever. They're kind of like a Highland police force, but I'm pretty sure you could pay them off. More like, not so much police force, but like, what's the word when you take money for protection? Protectionist racket or something. Anyway, so it's interesting about tartans. But that aside, right? There's so many incredible, beautiful colors and patterns in the tartans. So, to me, even though it sort of comes out of a sort of fake thing, you end up with this beautiful array of patterns and stuff. And also, probably there were certain... Oh, look at a bloody leech. Jesus. Can't stand those guys. Anyway, sorry. Gotta check. Especially when I have bare legs, I have to check when I get home. Those guys will get you. Anyway, so... I think probably certain colors and patterns evolved because of local plants and dyes and stuff, and so it's not completely off the wall or anything like that. It's just that, anyway, just like what I just said. Anyway, I'm gonna start walking. Enough about tartans. I'll see you in a minute. Hey, avante, avante, on to fresh disasters, as the great Anne Southam used to say. Didn't know if you know that. That's true now. Focus, focus, focus. Focus, putting it, oops. There we go. Okay, yeah, so that's it. Isn't that beautiful sky, eh? I don't know how to describe it. I mean, blue skies happen other places and people love them. I don't know why it's more important for me. Or more special, or not important, but oh well. Oh yeah, so anyway, that's that, eh? Yeah, so what else is going on? We got, the kids are away at Kendo for a couple of weeks, so us adults are gonna do, well, just keep it dark, eh? I kind of like that. So us adults are gonna be practicing. I'm going in Mondays and Fridays and work with them, and I don't know who's coming for sure. I know one person is, but anyway, yeah, so it's all good, I guess. I keep hearing that the COVID is expanding in the West, and well, that's too bad. I don't know what to say about all that, you know. Oops. Oh, now it's just too dark. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I still think the whole lockdown thing is... Well, I mean, part of it is... I do what you need to do, right? Whatever you feel like you need to do where you live. I mean, don't think much. It's not up to me. It doesn't matter what I say. However, I just know for my own self that if someone said... Like, say in Thailand said, oh, you can't leave your house for a month. I'm like, yeah, try and stop me. It's like... I almost don't have a house, you know what I mean? I mean, I have a house, a beautiful house, but it's kind of really open. It's like outside, basically. You know, like the windows don't have glass. The windows just open all the time. Shutters, I guess you call them, I don't know. Anyway, whatever, right? So that's just my own thing. I'm too far gone now to put up with, like, some bureaucrats saying, oh, you have to stay locked in your house for the next 2 weeks. Like, yeah, I don't think so. I think probably not. Try to stop me. Anyway, whatever. Because that's here. And it's not even here, it's up here, right? So, anyway, listen, please do what you need to take care of yourselves and yeah, whatever, right? Watch out for the snakes up in your bedroom. Try not to step on them. Keep one eye on the ground when you're walking in the forest. You know, don't want to step on a snake there either. Jesus. Anyway, yeah. So get out in the sun, I guess. Whatever. Anyway, I haven't been talking about the Patreon thing. I still have that all going, right? Lately I've just been putting the notice at the beginning and the end in the description. But I have all that if you want to contribute. But however, pretty soon, if we have a grading, I'm probably going to do a fundraiser to get myself down to Bangkok. And it's actually quite a little expensive, the grading, at higher levels. Like, oh jeez. Anyway, more incentive to pass it, I think, is what it is. So I'll probably do it in a fundraiser. So if you think, you know, I want to contribute something, you might want to wait till then. Doesn't matter, whatever. Anyway, take care, Ala Proshen. Hope everyone's doing great. If you're having health problems, be especially careful, okay? You know. Okay, ciao.